Welcome to my CLS 747-200 tutorial. We'll be flying from Seattle to San Francisco, and I'll go over the normal procedures for the 747-200 as well as the basics of INS navigation. Open the flight engineer panel, turn the battery on, avionics master switch on. Go to the overhead panel, yaw dampers on, anti-skid on, emergency lights armed, fasten seatbelt, no smoking signs on, pro heaters on, nav and logo lights on. Now turn the flight director on. Enter our V2 plus 10 speed, which is about 150 knots. Now enter runway heading 164 knots, 164 degrees, sorry. And enter first altitude, 3,000 feet, vertical speed of 2,000 feet per minute. Now open the communication panel. Make sure TCAS is off. Parking brakes are set. Open the overhead panel. Turn all three MSUs to standby. 1, 2, and 3 INS CDUs to DSRTK/STS, which means desired track/system. Double click on hold and press on the test button to make sure everything is working fine. Make sure INS flight plan load is set to auto. Put MSU1 to off, then back to nav, and turn CDU switch to position. You have this warning, so I'm just gonna turn it off, put it back to nav. You are now going to enter our position. Click on 2, enter latitude. Click on insert. Click on 4, enter the longitude. Click on insert. Go back to desired track and put MSU to align. Now do the same for the other CDUs. So what we're doing when we're pressing 2 is entering our latitude. Since we're in the northern hemisphere, it starts with north. If we were in the southern hemisphere, we'd hit button 8 and enter the latitude starting with south. It would be the same for our longitude. So you want to wait for the number 9 to go down to 5. When it's down to 5, you're gonna turn the MSU to nav, and you're gonna wait for all three of them to go down to 5. Just waiting for CDU2 to be aligned properly. And CDU3. Okay, CDUs are now aligned. All three MSUs on nav. We now are going to enter our waypoints. So to do so, put INS flight plan load to manual. Select the waypoint switch and go to waypoint 1. The waypoint DME switch or selector, and enter the first waypoint's coordinates first waypoint is going to be runway 16 left. And then our second waypoint is going to be our actual first waypoint on our flight plan. So to enter the coordinates, just do the same as what you did to enter the position, the ramp position. Enter latitude, insert, longitude, insert, and then go to next waypoint. Do that for all 9 waypoints. So yeah, you can only put in 9 waypoints, no more. So if you have more than 9 waypoints in your flight plan, enter the 9 first waypoints, and then during the flight you can add waypoints. And I'll show you how to do so later on. So this is basically the ancestor of the FMC. It does work obviously with waypoints, following a bunch of waypoints, but you need to enter, as you can see, the coordinates. It has no memory or no database of waypoints, so you do the whole thing manually. And it has no screen to show you the actual flight plan. So before start checklist, you want to go to the overhead panel, turn beacon light on, go to the flight engineer panel, and turn all fuel pumps on except for center tank. Before engine start, checklist completed. Parking brakes off. And we can start pushback. Open the flight engineer panel. Engine start, switch 4 to on. When you get to 20% N2, you're going to want to close fuel valve 4. Engine is starting. Now we want to turn alternator for engine 4 on. Turn air pump on and engine pump to norm. We're going to start the other engines from the flight deck, from the pilot seat. So open the throttle panel. Engine start 3, switch to on. At 20% N2, engine fuel cut off to idle. You can turn engine 3 alternator, air pump and engine pump on. Do the same for engine 2 and 1. We'll start them at the same time. At 20% N2, fuel cutoff 2 and 1 to idle. The flight engineer panel. Alternators 1 and 2 to on, air pump 1, 2 to on, fuel pump 1, 2 to norm. After startup checklist, I'm going to set the trim to about 6.5, arm the speed brakes, set flaps to 10, and enter 1.9 EPR. And after start checklist completed.